Hello, welcome to the weekend roundup with Sean at Celtic Down Under. Kilmarnock visited the green half of Glasgow this weekend in the first Saturday 3pm game at Celtic Park since the 12th of November. Jota and his hair were restored to the starting lineup after rumours of injury and sickness restricting him to cameos from the bench since the World Cup break. The agitating Alessandro Bernabe came in at left back for the injured Greg Taylor after his hamstring injury, which will keep him out of at least the Cup semi-final on Saturday evening. The Argentinian had a strong game, despite still being wasteful at times. He showed great touch, guile, drive and movement, topped off with a defence-splitting Taylor-esque through ball for the opening goal of the game. Maeda drove a low ball into the danger area. Kyogo slid in, but couldn't get the ball into the net, but may have confused the goalkeeper enough to allow Jota to nick the ball off him and tap into an empty net. The Kilmarnock goalkeeper was seen remonstrating after the goal, but the only offence committed in the build-up was Jota's moustache existing outside of Movember. There have been very few chances in the first half, with Kilmarnock parking two buses and showing extraordinary levels of time wasting, including Alan Power intercepting a pass from a ball boy and Sam Walker in goals, showing the hard work he's been doing at training and how to drag out a goal kick for up to a minute by pretending he can't see a football. He certainly saw the ball in the second half, with Celtic raising their game and turning the screw after being inspired by the unveiling of new signing Tomoki Iwata. A string of fine saves from the English stopper and the goal frame at the Jockstein end kept the scoreline down and denied substitutes Giacomakis, Forrest and O'Reilly. Indeed, the only person who could beat the goalkeeper/woodwork in the second half was defender Ash Taylor, who slid a shot low past his own goalkeeper. The stadium credited the goal to Cinch Premiership Player of the Month Kyogo, but he can be clearly seen saying to his teammates, "I didn't touch it," while celebrating. The final margin should have been higher, contrary to the one Kilmarnock fan on Clyde Super Scoreboard claiming they were robbed by the officials. There were in fact two incidental handballs in the box by Kilmarnock players during the game, which would have been penalties if the arms had been hooped in green. After the match, Rio Hatate was marched up to the number 7 restaurant in his dirty top, socks and sandals to receive champagne, in a show of defiance against the Twitterati and the faux storm of criticism which has been brewing around him this week on social media. Ange was very calm in his post-match comments, but did state he wasn't happy with the decision-making and performance in the first half, while also highlighting the fact that we have 17 games left of the league campaign and we're targeting doing better than the 16 wins we achieved in the first 17. Ayrshire Rangers manager Derek McInnes surprised no one with his tactics of parking the bus and isolating two strikers like it was a 2020 Covid wave, but was a lot more complimentary than the likes of Robbie Neilson in his post-match comments. He described the hoops as unbelievably relentless and stated that they don't let you breathe, before pointing out that his side will need to find an answer next week, but wasn't clear on what the question is. Is Rio Hatate really that good? Was answered on Saturday, so it must be something like, how does Jota get so much volume in his hair? Or, how can my strikers get better at diving? Or, how can I get my name in the frame for the Sevco job again? Speaking of which, penalty to Rangers FC visited Tannadice this Sunday as they continued their battle for second place. This week there were two handball offences not given by the officials, who just can't seem to tell where Connor Coldson's face begins or ends. Sevco are now just one game away from going an entire calendar year without conceding a domestic penalty. Fashion Sakala and Malik Tillman got a quickfire double for the opposition FC to extend their lead over third placed Hearts. In their own game, the aforementioned Edinburgh Rangers took a point from Paisley, despite the Buddies dominating the first half after opening the scoring with a direct free kick from Aussie Ryan Strain after only 4 minutes. Australian man of the moment Keanu Bacchus correctly received a yellow card for simulation for his delayed fall after receiving contact in the box. Forlorn Celtic fan Robert Snodgrass scored the equaliser for the Jam Tarts after his 49th minute cross evaded everyone, including the goalkeeper. St Mirren finished the match with 10 men after referee Chris Graham needed the help of VAR to see Marcus Fraser stamp his studs down on the thigh of Hearts sub George Grant. Elsewhere, Aberdeen and Livingston showed incredible duality in their games, putting up 2-0 wins in the north of Scotland to arrest 5-game winless streaks, with second half doubles from their strikers and opening goals being chopped off by VAR for a shoulder being beyond the last man. The Cape Verdean forward Duke scored twice in the last 16 minutes at Pittodrie to overcome the visitors St Johnstone and close the gap on third place Hearts to just 3 points. The Dons had dominated the game, and 22-year-old former Benfica player Duke was only denied a hat-trick by VAR in the width of his shoulder. The double-scoring man of the match is now on 11 goals for the season and will surely be falling under the category of sellable asset this summer if his performances continue. Ex-Celt Johnny Hayes got an assist for the second goal, taking the corner which was headed in from close range, and Celtic loanee Liam Scales racked up his second clean sheet since the Dons changed to a back four last week. A sparse crowd at Dingwall saw a second half double from Bruce Anderson give Livingston all 3 points and moved the Newtown team up to 5th in the league. Lions striker Anderson is probably a lot less of a sellable asset than Duke, given that he is now on 4 league goals for the campaign, 25 years old, Scottish, and not very good. Another double next week should see him linked with a free transfer to Ibrox in the summer. Ross County chairman Roy McGregor will be desperately hoping under pressure manager Malcolm Mackay lets off steam via text message in the same way he did at Cardiff City if the Highlanders continue this putrid form. On Sunday, Sky Sports surprised everyone by not only showing a game not featuring either half of the Glasgow duo when Motherwell hosted Hibs, but also giving it a good hour of pre-match coverage and showing what a respectful broadcasting partner is capable of achieving. Scottish football can look forward to being filler for English audiences once again next weekend, now that the big round of the FA Cup is out of the way. The Steelmen and the Hibbies served up a 5-goal thriller in the only top-flight game to hit the over on 2.5 goals this weekend. Former Celt Aidan McGeady made his first start of the season and rolled back the years as he provided the assist for the first of Kevin Nisbet's 3 goals. The pick of the hat-trick was definitely the third goal, with a great first-time finish high into the near post to open up a 3-1 lead. The Fir Park side pulled one back in injury time, but showed a curious lack of urgency and somehow stay 10th despite only 1 win in the last 12 games. In the Championship, Cove Rangers got back together with their ex, who left them for a better option last year. Former Celt Paul Hartley was dumped by Hartlepool in September, and both parties realised they can't do better than each other. The cuckolded Jim McIntyre will be rightly suspicious of the timing and how quickly Cove got back with Paul after being single for only 1 day. However, a chastening 6-0 defeat to a homeless Queen's Park suggests that this reconciliation might not be the honeymoon Cove were hoping for. In England, Scott Brown added a scalp of yet another Rangers team to his repertoire, with his mid-table League One Fleetwood Town upsetting Championship team QPR to book a place in the last 32 of the FA Cup for the first time in their history. The cup draw took place on Sunday, and Scott Brown will be taking his hair to Hillsborough to play against fellow League One team Sheffield Wednesday. Celtic loanee Mikey Johnson started on the left wing for Vitória Guimarães and played 64 minutes in his 14th appearance of the season, but he wasn't able to break the deadlock in a game that finished 0-0 and consolidated the team's 6th place position in the table. Mikey has 3 goals and 3 assists to his name so far this season in 795 minutes of playing time. On a sombre note, the recent loss of former great players was compounded this weekend with the death of former Sampdoria, Juventus and Chelsea player Gianluca Vialli after a battle with pancreatic cancer. The towering Italian never faced Celtic as a player or manager, but game respects game, and we join the wider football